Happy Tuesday. I pray your day is prosperous. It's been a minute since I've been here, like 3 weeks. I've been resting, okay? So it's winter time. We're transitioning into winter, and I have been using this time to rest. I said all that to say, if you're new here, my name is M. Simone. I am the Chief Educator and Liberator at the Great School of Life. We teach God-centered manifestation. I give you biblical principles and a scientific formula that you can use to actually embody and implement the principles so you can unlock whatever your heaven on earth is. If you're on this live, it's because you're seeking more, you want more out of life. There's something that you've been imagining since you were a child, and you are ready to make it your reality. Everything you need to move forward with anything that we offer is always going to be in my bio. I'm going to be with you guys for about an hour. If you have questions, put them in the chat. I do have 2 TikToks. So I have the Great School of Life 111, and then I have Influenced by MSB. Depending on which TikTok you're on, there may be questions that are asked on the other TikTok. If you ask a question though, or if you have one, put it in the chat so that I can answer it. I do want to make sure this is as informative and as helpful for you guys as possible, okay? The intention of this live is for you guys to make a decision to join the Great School of Life. Plain point blank, period, right? I want you guys to actually make the decision to invest in yourself so that you can become the version of you that has the life that you want to live. Everything that you need, like I said, will be in my bio. You can click that link. I'm going to flip this camera. We're going to get started. If you have questions, put them in the chat and make sure you take notes because you're going to need them. You're going to want to, and I'm going to get these lives uploaded to YouTube as well so that you guys have them, but for now, I need you to take notes. And then, hold on. Let's see here. Y'all like my little butterfly that I drew? Isn't it so cute? Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me, push this back a little bit further. Okay, one moment. I need to make sure both of you guys can see. Okay, everybody can see my screen, correct? Yes? Hold on. This is kind of blurry. Hold on. Okay, that's a little bit better. Hopefully it stays like this so that you can see it. But again, if you're new here, my name is M. Simone. I am the Chief Educator and Liberator at the Great School of Life. Today we are going to have, we're going to be together for about an hour, and I'm going to go through the life recipe with you guys. The life recipe is a 7-step process to transform a caterpillar into a butterfly, right? Whoever you are today into who you need to be to actually live the dream life that you've been imagining, okay? So we're going to go through the basics of life, how life works. We are going to challenge some of your beliefs so that you can start to create the life that you truly want, right? Because the reality that you're living currently is in direct harmony with the beliefs that you hold to be true. And until you uncover the beliefs that you hold to be true, you will continue to perpetuate the same reality, and you will call it fate, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to understand why you're creating the reality you're creating and create the belief system that would create the reality you desire, okay? So we're going to start, like I said, with the basics. I want you guys to understand that there's 3 planes of existence that we live on, and there's also 3 pillars of permanent manifestation, right? So if you are wanting to create anything in your life, doesn't matter what it is, there are 3 pillars to the manifestation process, and there are also 3 planes of existence that you live on, okay? So you live on the physical plane, which is the one that you're most familiar with, right? The one that you can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. But that's, hold on. So much better, right? Okay, what was I saying? I was talking about the physical world, right? So the physical world is the 3D plane. That's the plane that we can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. That's the one that the world programs us to focus on, right? If we don't see the money, we can't do the thing, right? If we don't see a way to make it happen, we can't do it. If we don't have the opportunity, then we can't move forward. If we're not good enough, then we can't do this. The world has programmed us to believe that the physical world has more weight than any other realm that you live on. And this is the lowest frequency that you live on. The physical plane is very important, but it's not the most important, right? So you also live on the spiritual plane and you live on the mental plane, okay? The spiritual plane is the highest level that you live on. This is above, right, the mental plane. The spiritual plane is what we call, or what I would call, right, the God plane, right? So that's God, energy, source, power, spirit, universe, creator, infinite intelligence, quantum consciousness, quantum field, whatever word you want to use that makes you feel connected to the divine. I want you to understand that the highest level that you live on in your life is the spiritual plane as a spiritual being. You are not a physical being. You're not a human being. You're a spiritual being and you're having a human experience. Those are two different statements. You are not a human being, right, that experiences the spiritual. You are a spiritual being and you're experiencing life as a human. You are the divine. Like I said, I call it God. I call it energy. I use the word spirit. I use the word universe. I use the word the creator. Whatever word makes you feel comfortable, what I want you to recognize is that you live on the same and you have the same power that God used, that God has, that creates everything. You are that power. You are one with the power. You are one with the source. You are one with God, right? Whatever God means to you, you are one with the divine. You are one with infinite everything. You are one with the source of all. Right now. Like there's nothing you can do to be separate from God either. Believe it or not, I don't know in what background you grew up, whether it was religion or some type of spirituality, right, that promoted this separation between you and God, or something you have to do, like a judgmental God or a conditional God, or a God that only loves you sometimes, or a God that is more angry and wrathful than anything else, or a God that, like, I don't know what image was painted. What I want you to do is I want you to recognize that the God that you are attached to, the only God that there truly is unconditionally loving and unconditionally supportive. Okay? Unconditionally loving and unconditionally supportive. Now, we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get up here to this statement, but I want you to understand that you are God. You and God are one. Y'all are soulmates. You can't be separated. You are one entity. Just like the sun and the sunbeam. It's one entity, two distinct parts. Just because you can distinguish between you and God doesn't mean that there's a separation. You can't be separate from God. There's nothing you can do to be separate from God. You can believe that you're separate from God, or you could believe that you're not enough, or you can believe that you're not worthy, or you can believe that you don't know enough, or you're not smart enough, or you don't know how to sell, or you're not worthy of true love. Whatever it is, you can believe these things, and you will absolutely create a reality that reflects that to you. That's not the truth of who you are. The reality is today you may not have any money in your bank account. You may call that broke. You may call that on your last, whatever you call it. It's a belief that you're holding about your reality that's perpetuating that. Because the truth is you have all the money that you need right now. Because you have God and God has all the money. God has everything. God is everything. So because you believed in poverty, you create a reality that reflects poverty. Because you believe that love is pain, you create a reality that reflects love is pain. If you believe that you got to work hard for money, then you're going to create a reality that reflects to you that you have to work hard for your money. That's not the truth of who you are, though. Okay, so you're a spiritual being, you live on the spiritual plane. You also live on the mental plane. Okay, so you are not the mind, right? But you have a mind. You have the conscious mind and the subconscious, or the intellectual and the emotional mind. You have the mind. The mind is not who you are. It's something that you have. It's something that you possess. It's something that is yours. Who yours is, who you are, is spirit. So you are a spiritual being. I am God. I am a spiritual being. I have an intellectual and an emotional mind, a conscious and a subconscious mind. And I live in a physical body. You are not your physical body. You are the presence in the body. You're the awareness in the body. You're the power that's in the body. You're the I amness. That's who you are. Who you are at your core is the I am. And I am translates, if we come up here to the top real quick, I am translates this statement right here, right? I am that I am. I know you guys have probably seen that or heard it. I am that I am. And you're like, what does that mean? How do I use that? Because what the Great School of Life and what the Life Recipe teaches you how to do is it teaches you how to take what you've already learned about the Bible for however long that you've been learning about it and actually rewire your belief system around it so that it will serve you in serving God. Because right now you may know some Bible scriptures, or you may know even this one, Romans 12:2. You may know this. You probably heard it and say it hundreds of, I don't know how many times, but you've heard this before. That doesn't mean that you're living your life by it. Just because you know it doesn't mean you're actually implementing it. And if you know this, but you're not actually living by it, you're not creating the reality that this scripture actually is supposed to create for you. Does that make sense? Now, let me make sure. I don't think there was any questions in the comments. No, I don't think we had any questions. Okay, great. Okay, so I am that I am. Let's break this statement down, because I want you to understand what it is you're saying, and I want you to understand how you create your life. Because believe it or not, you are the creator of your reality. I don't know who you've been blaming your circumstances on, or your conditions, or your environment, or whatever is happening to you that you believe is happening to you. I don't know who you've been blaming it on. But today we're going to take some responsibility, because you created the reality that you're living, regardless of if you created it consciously, meaning you chose it, you accepted it, you made a decision, or subconsciously, which is more often than not how you were programmed in the first place. Because babies only have the subconscious. Babies don't have the part of the mind that allows them to accept or reject information. So if you as a baby, right, were around poverty, or you were around people that didn't do right by money, or were dishonest with money, or you saw or you heard that rich people were dishonest and that's why they had money. If as a baby that's all you were subjected to, subconscious, subjective, if that's all you were subjected to, and the subconscious has no ability to reject information, it's going to accept whatever it's given. So yeah, consciously right now, you know to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Yeah, you know that. But your subconscious mind is the part that runs the show. And that's the part that's saying, nah, we're not worthy of money, or we shouldn't have it because X, Y, and Z, or God doesn't want us to have it because this is what they said, or it's evil to be, whatever it is, right? There's a perpetual story of belief, a belief system that's creating the reality that you're living. And in order for us to create the reality we want, we have to get to the beliefs. There's no way around it. You can try to skip around, do all kind of other things. That's what most people do. They like to change their actions, or maybe they like to change other people. Maybe I'll change my job because the job is toxic, but then every single job you've ever been to has been toxic, and you're the only common denominator between all of these jobs. So you just think if you quit this toxic job that you'll go to another job and it won't be toxic, even though you're taking the same toxicity with you. So what your job is, right? If you were looking to create the life of your dreams, if you're looking to go from who you are today, the life you're living today, to the butterfly life, the elevated version of your life, the part where you're not worried about money, you don't focus on money because you know you always have it. You have loving relationships with people who actually trust you, who actually honor you, who actually see your worth because you see your worth, right? If your butterfly life or your elevated life is that you have, a 7-figure, 8-figure a month business where you help other people create successful 7-figure, 8-figure month businesses. If it's, marrying a man or marrying a woman and just being a housewife or a house husband, or just the parent that's full, like whatever it is you want, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to anybody else what you want. It's about what your butterfly life looks like. Well, if you know what the life looks like, you have to become the version of you that would live it. Because the caterpillar can dream about being a butterfly and flying, but until the caterpillar becomes the butterfly, it's not going to fly. Does that make sense? Like the caterpillar can dream all day long. Oh my God, it would be so great to fly. I would love to fly. And the reason why the caterpillar is doing that in the first place, the reason why you guys are craving more, the reason why you're thinking about more and you're using your imagination to visualize more, because there's a version of you that has that life. If you can see it in your head, if you can see it in your mind, if you can see it in your imagination, you can have it. You can live it. It can be your reality. God gives us the desire because there is a version of us that already has the thing. In order to actually have the thing physically, we have to become the version of us that would have it. So the caterpillar can imagine itself as a butterfly all day long until it goes through the transformation to become a butterfly. It's not going to live a butterfly life. It's literally not going to happen. Thank you for liking the live, love. I appreciate you. It's literally not going to happen. There's nothing that a caterpillar can do other than transform into a butterfly to become a butterfly. There's nothing else that a caterpillar can do to have a butterfly life other than become the butterfly. It's the same with you. So that's what the life recipe teaches you how to do. Okay, so let's get into it. Now, before we get into that, a lot of you guys have trouble creating what it is that you want, or you're so successful in what you do, but you aren't truly aware of why you're successful. A lot of times I see like people have so much success, but they don't even truly know why they're successful. Yeah, they'll tell you, oh, I work hard, great connections, networking, shit like that. That's not actually the secret. That's an action that they took. Those are strategies that they have. That's not the secret of their success. 99% of the success does not come from the action or strategy you use. The action or strategy is actually the least important part of the equation. It literally doesn't matter what action or strategy you use. The 99% of the process that will get you the successful results every single time, no matter what, is the consciousness. It's the mental plane. It's the mind. It's the beliefs, the thoughts, and feelings. That's why God said, be transformed by renewing your mind. In order for you to live a physical life that is in harmony with who you truly are, you got to get the mind in order, because your mind is blocking this power. You are God in human form. You are spirit. That means that right now you have an infinite flow, an infinite amount of God power flowing to and through you all at once right now. Every single one of y'all. I don't care where you are. I don't care where you live, where you come from. None of that matters. Because if I stripped you out of all these labels that you've given yourself, oh, I'm a mom, I'm fat, I'm from this country, I speak this language, I don't speak that, whatever labels you've given, if I stripped all those labels off of you, you would literally be a glowing, divine ball figure shape of energy, just a mass of divine energy. So it doesn't matter where you're starting from. You're starting with this physical mask. It's a mask though. Under the mask is still the infinite power. Everybody has it. Nobody's excluded. Thank you for liking the live, love. Nobody's excluded. Everybody has it. Whether you believe in God or not, you can never not I am. There's nothing you can do to not I am. And I am equals God is. Anytime you use I am, you're saying God is. Anytime you say I am, you are literally commanding your God power. And whatever you put after I am, right, is the conditioning on that power. So let's talk about that. I think that's what we were supposed to be talking about, but I didn't go too deep into it, right? So I am is the self-definition of God. Anytime you use I am, you're saying God is. Anytime. Doesn't matter what you say afterwards. You're using your God power. Now, I am is unconditioned awareness. Okay? I am is unconditioned awareness. What does that mean? That means that I am, that phrase has no conditioning to it. It's unconditioned. That means that this awareness, you can put it, there's no limit to it. It's unconditioned. It's unlimited. It's infinite. There's an infinite amount of options that you could put behind I am. Infinite. Literally, there's no limit. However, you then have this word here that says that. That is what we call the conditioning. So I am equals God is. There's no condition on that. It's unconditioned. You can put whatever conditioning you want on it. Rich, wealthy, healthy, beautiful, luxurious, prosperous, abundant, free, confident, love, faith, joy, gratitude, calm, bliss, ease, compassion. You can put whatever you want behind that. Or you can put whatever you want behind that. Fear, doubt, worried, anxious, angry, shameful, guilty, resentful, unforgiving, whatever word it is. God's power is going to move through whatever condition you give it, whatever you have in the mind. That's why God said, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, because who you are is unconditioned. Who you are is unconditioned awareness. That means who you are right now is infinite. But that infinite power has to flow through a channel, and the channel is the mind, and the mind has the conditioning, and the conditioning is what you got when you were a child that has been perpetuated throughout your life. So when you say I am broke, what are you saying? God is broke. God doesn't argue with us. Believe it or not. God doesn't argue with you, because again, God's not a person, right? God is not a being. God is unconditioned, a formless substance. It's awareness. God says yes. That's all God knows. God is the most loving parent, if you want to call it that, father, mother, caregiver that we will ever have. There is never going to be one that's more generous than God, because all God says is yes. That's the only thing God knows. So when you say, I am broke, what does God say? Oh no, my child, you're not broke. You're rich because you have me. Let me give you riches. No, God don't argue with you. God says yes. God loves you unconditionally and supports you unconditionally. So when you say, I am broke, God says yes. And then that's the reality you create. When you say, I am poor, or I am, I was speaking with a young lady today, and she said, we were talking about, her experiences, and she said, how did she say it? She was like, because we don't have anything to our name, or something like that. So what's the conditioning? I am, right? Or I don't have, which is the same thing as I am, just in the reverse. I don't have anything to my name. God has nothing. That's what you just said. Is that true? Is that a true statement? Is that the truth of who you are? No. The fact is you don't have any money in your bank account. That's a fact. The truth is you are wealthy beyond measure. You can't measure infinity. I have a math degree. I went to college. I went to Georgia State University. I got a 4-year math degree in 3 years. I also graduated cum laude. So I have a more deep perspective when it comes to mathematics than the average person. I still cannot fathom infinity. Do you understand what infinity means? Do you understand how there's no, even when we think about billionaires, because the problem is we're comparing billionaire supplies with our supply, when we should be focused on our supply and how to increase it by providing more value to people instead of pocket watching other people. Because I believe if I came into your house, thank you for liking the love, I believe if I came into your house, regardless of how much money you made, and I told you how you should spend it, it would be a problem. I don't understand why we believe just because people have so much more than us that we should be able to police how they spend their money. What I'm telling you is that you have the same infinite supply that they have. $250 billion is nothing to infinity. Just like what you're asking for is nothing to infinity. So stop worrying about, or stop focusing on, or pocket watching what other people have that you believe they shouldn't have because of your belief system, and start recognizing that you have the same access to the infinite power that created the billions for them. And you can have whatever amount you want to have. Other people having billions of dollars doesn't take away from you. Why? Because everybody has their own supply, but you don't believe that. Why? Because the world has programmed you to believe that money is scarce. It's a finite resource. We don't have enough. The world has programmed you to believe in scarcity all around. It doesn't matter what it is. They want you to believe that there is not enough of anything, when in reality, there is more than enough of everything. Everything is God. Everything is unconditioned awareness. Everything is the power, energy, whatever word you want to use, source. Everything is the substance. Everything is God's substance in a different physical vessel. Everything. You are God's substance in the vessel of a human being. Money is God's substance in the vessel of dollars and cents. Water is God's substance in the vessel of everything that water can do. Okay? So, question, how do we reprogram? Great question. What is it that you want to reprogram? Because in order to reprogram something, you have to become aware of the something you want to reprogram, right? So the way that this process works, and we're going to talk about this drawing right here on the side, right? The way that this process works is you have to recognize, right? And this drawing right here, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this drawing before, but this is a drawing that I got from my first mentor, Bob Proctor. He got it from Dr. Thurman Fleet back in the early 40s. Essentially, this is a drawing that the doctor created to represent our mind, right? Because God told us to be transformed by the renewing of our mind. Well, the mind is not a thing. Believe it or not, your mind and your brain are not the same. The brain is a physical instrument of your body. It is very powerful. It works with the mind in tandem, but it is not the mind. The mind is not just housed in the brain. The mind is not just housed in your head. The mind is in every cell of your being. Mind is movement. It's not a thing. It's a movement. It's an activity. It's awareness. Your mind is a movement. It's a flow. It's a presence. So the doctor created this drawing so that we could actually make sense of how the mind operates. It's a stick person, right? It's very simple. Hold on. Proctor, absolutely. Hold on, let me, I don't know why it blocked your comment. Hold on. Yeah, Bob Proctor was my first mentor. Bob goes hard. Okay. Okay, perfect. We're good? Everybody good? Okay. So, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Well, how do you do that? Well, first of all, right, in order for you to renew anything, right, to renew means to change, to upgrade, to transform, right, to make anew, right? In order for you to do that, you have to, one, understand what it is that you're trying to change. So the problem that you're probably running into, if you are someone who's already successful and you're just looking to get to the next level, but you're stuck for some reason, right, you have let's talk about this drawing real quick. So you have the conscious and the subconscious, and you have the body. Now, this whole picture is the mind. This top circle is the mind part of the mind. The bottom circle is the body part of the mind. Now, the mind is split into two for creation's sake, because we live on this physical plane, and on this physical plane, we have what's called duality, okay? Up, down, hot, cold, in, out, left, right, male, female, masculine, feminine. So consciousness, which is what the conscious and the subconscious together create, consciousness, right, is one and undivided. It's actually one. Everything is one. Everything is one unconditioned awareness. And it's being represented in infinite ways on the physical plane. Okay, but consciousness is one and undivided. But because we have creation, or we live on this 3D plane, we have the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious is the male aspect of creation. The subconscious is the female aspect of creation. The conscious mind represents 2% of your results. That means 2% of the life that you are living currently, you consciously manifested. 97% of your life, right, is created subconsciously. Now, the word conscious means aware. Okay. Anytime you see the word conscious, it just means aware. So when you see the word consciousness, which I don't have it written, I normally do. But when you see the word consciousness, that just means awareness. It's the same as this. Awareness, consciousness. They mean the same thing. So the word conscious means aware. The word subconscious means under aware, under consciousness, unconscious. Okay. So this is below the level of consciousness. This is what we call the garden of the mind. Okay. And the conscious mind is the farmer with the seed. So what I want you guys to realize is that your mind, your life works just like everything else in this life. What you give, you get. Whatever you sow, you reap. If you give an apple seed to a garden, to the earth, you will reap an apple tree 100% of the time. If you plant a mango seed into the earth, into the garden, you will reap a mango tree 100% of the time. If you plant a corn seed, 100% of the time, you'll reap corn, stalks of them. Your conscious and subconscious minds work that exact same way. The conscious mind gets to choose. The conscious mind gets to accept or reject. What does that mean? That means your conscious mind is your free will to choose, right? When you hear about free will to choose, God gave you free will to choose. That means God gave you the choice to have a $2,000 apartment or a $20,000 a month home. God gave you the choice to have a Toyota or a 2026 Lamborghini. God gave you the choice to have $50,000 in annual income and have $50,000 a day in income. God gave you free will to choose whatever you want. You have free will, okay? That's the conscious mind. So the conscious mind gets to choose the seed. Let's say you want to be a millionaire. So you're going to choose a millionaire seed. If you plant a millionaire seed in the ground, you're going to get a millionaire fruit. Just like if you plant an apple seed in the ground, you get an apple tree, okay? So the conscious mind gets to choose the seed. Let's say it's a millionaire seed. But the conscious mind doesn't make that seed manifest. That conscious mind doesn't make it grow. The conscious mind doesn't bring it to life. The garden, or the earth, or the subconscious, the female aspect of creation, brings that seed to life, actually makes it manifest. And this is the part that you're unaware of. That means that 97% of your life is created unconsciously. That means that you're not aware of 97 to 98% of how your life is being manifested. Every single one of y'all is the most powerful manifester in the world, believe it or not. You've manifested your whole life up until this point and will continue to manifest your whole life, and you don't even know it. You know how powerful you have to be to do something and not know you're doing it? And do something as powerful as creation? Come on now. I don't ever want to hear anybody talk about how they're not enough, or they don't know enough, or they're not good enough. You literally bend reality to your will. Now, unfortunately, your will is held on to the beliefs that are no longer serving you. What we want to do is we want to become aware of them. So somebody asks, how do you reprogram our mind? First step in the life recipe is self-awareness. Now, the first step truly is setting your intentions, because I want you to know why you're about to go through this process. Because what you're about to do is you're about to go through the 7 steps to transform from caterpillar to butterfly. You're transforming from the person you are today that is dissatisfied with their life, that has a vision of this butterfly life, and you're going to become the butterfly so that you will naturally live the butterfly life. That's what you're about to do as a human being or a spiritual being having a human experience. That's the exact process you're about to grow through. So I typically want you to set your intentions first, because I don't know if you guys know, but this process is not necessarily pretty. Right? It's a process of death and rebirth, multiple deaths and multiple rebirths. The amount of versions of myself that I've had to die to over the last 5 years, the last year specifically, the last 6 months, is astronomical. The amount of alchemizing that I've done and transmuting of energy, that's why I be so tired. Because I literally am always just using that God-given power to alchemize, to have the pain, understand the pain, release the pain, turn it into purpose. Like literally, it's all day long. Funny, because I journaled your course in a butterfly journal. Yes. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking. That's what it's about. That's what I help you do. It took me 5 years to figure out how to do this. My job is to help you do it in 6 months. That's what this program is about. That's what the life recipe is about. That's what thinking from the end is about. That's what the Great School of Life is about. It's about the fact that I've already done the hard work. All you have to do is review the hard work that I've done, take the parts that you want to believe that'll create the life that you want to live, and then actually do, follow through, be, do, and have what it is that you said you want to have. Like, and that's why I haven't been on live. Somebody said for real, same, resting. I haven't been on live for like 3 weeks. I was with my son. He gave me some baby germs, and I used those baby germs to release, right? A lot of times when we get sick, quote unquote, or our bodies are literally rejecting energy or trying to dispel energy, right? We call it sickness, or we think it's something bad that we're trying to get rid of. Your body is trying to get rid of negative energy, stagnant energy, chaotic energy. Like while I was coughing up all this mucus, I was literally putting intentions on it. Like, I'm releasing this. I'm releasing stagnancy. I'm releasing chaos. I'm releasing resentment. I'm releasing unforgiveness. I'm releasing all of it. Take it. Because my body is making space for all of these seeds that I've been planting. All of the seeds that I've been planting. Every single day you're planting seeds. You're planting seeds right now. I'm planting seeds right now. That's what I'm doing with your minds. Your minds are so fertile in the best way. Like, they're very, very fertile. Which means if you can plant the idea of what you truly want into your mind, it will take that seed just as if you planted it in the earth. It will break the seed apart. It will be rooted. It will ground. And then it will be an infinite, a stable, permanent tree that produces fruit in harmony with that seed. It doesn't matter if it's money, love, joy, freedom, business, clients, sex, relationships, partners, family. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever seed you plant, you're going to get an infinite supply for that seed. So this is one thing I want to say too. You have to understand that what you're doing is you're creating demand. There's a law of supply and demand. Okay. Is this about planting new only, or is this so you have to uproot first, Michael? That's a great question. So Michael said, is this about planting new only, or is there an uprooting of the old? You have to uproot the old. You have to. That's the self-awareness piece. That's what we're doing first, because you don't have any space. Believe it or not, Michael, you're 100% whole right now. You're at 100% capacity. You are whole and complete. There's nothing you're missing, nothing you're lacking right now at all times. So in order for you to get something, you got to give something. In order for you to get something, you got to give something. Just like a garden. You don't expect God to give you an apple tree if you don't plant the apple seed. That's crazy. It's insane, honestly. But somehow when it comes to our goals or when it comes to creating the dream life, we want to jump right to the dream life. We want to jump right to the new seed. You don't have any room for any new seeds, baby. You haven't made any space. And that's why it doesn't stick. That's why the manifestations are wavering, right? It feels like you have it and then you don't, because you didn't do the uprooting. You have to uproot. That's the self-awareness piece. That's the becoming aware of the subconscious, because again, the beliefs that are causing your reality are in the subconscious. And what do we call the subconscious? The unconscious. That's the part of the mind that you are unaware of, and you can't change anything that you're not aware of. So you have to first become aware of self. You have to become aware of what you have believed to be true. The way that you do that is by asking yourself questions. If you ask yourself a question, you get an answer. Every question has an answer, just like every desire has a fulfillment. That's why I tell you, if you have the desire for millions of dollars in sales, it's because there's a butterfly version of you that already has that. Your job is to get into the cocoon, become that butterfly, and you'll naturally have it. It's not about the action. It's not about the strategy. It's about the consciousness. It's about the transformation of self into alignment with the spirit, who you truly are, and letting spirit guide the mind instead of your ego trying to guide spirit. That's where a lot of people are struggling too, because they want to say that I did it. I got it out of the mud. I made this happen. That's cool. Keep saying that. And you will. God will say, yes, you made it happen. And you'll have all the work on your shoulders, and you'll have every bit of the equation. I don't want every bit of the equation. No, thank you. God can take the how, the when, and the where. You got it, big dog. I will take the what, the why, and the plan to get it. That's it. How it comes, I don't want to deal with that. When, I don't want to deal with that. Where, I don't want to deal with that. Do you know how many ways God can get you your good? Do you understand what infinity means? I really want to keep emphasizing the word infinity, because this is how it's been coming up for me lately. It keeps hitting me like infinity. Right now, my vision is expanded to see a $500 billion legacy for the Great School of Life. That's how much impact I want to make on this world. But even that compared to infinity is nothing. It's nothing. It's literally pennies to the infinite. So you want to understand that you're in cahoots, you're in connection to that infinite source at all times. You cannot be cut off from it. 8888, we love that. I love the eights. Okay, let me go back. To change from the old and waste away from it to become the new. Hold on one second. Is this about planning new only, or is there an uprooting of the old? So yes, you have to uproot the old. That's the self-awareness piece and the forgiveness piece, right? So the first step in the life recipe is self-awareness. In order for you to uproot the seed, you got to become aware of what the seed is you want to uproot. So if you're talking about, let's say if you're talking about love specifically, right? If you're talking about love, absolutely abundance. If you're talking about love specifically, right? And the intention that you have is to marry the love of your life, let's say, right? That's what you want. You're about to go through the life recipe. You're about to transform into the butterfly because you want to create, or you want to marry the love of your life. Okay. Let's say that's what your goal is. That's what you want. That's what you want to manifest. So the first step, right, you're going to set the intention so you know why you're about to grow through this process, because you have to do a lot of shedding, releasing, letting go. And it's not always fun. It's not always pretty. And it's not always at the click of a button. You hold on to a lot of things from your past because they bring you comfort, because they're familiar, not because they actually felt good. They bring you comfort because they're familiar, not because they actually feel good. It's a safe space because it's familiar, not because it's good for you. Does that make sense? Okay. So, I don't even remember what we're talking about, but what was I saying? I was talking about something. What was I talking about, y'all? I just lost my train of thought. So self-awareness though. Oh, set the intention. So we set the intention. We want to get married. Self-awareness. Now you have to understand that you are about to go through this process because you have clearly defined or clearly understood that the caterpillar you are today is not the one that's getting married. You know that. You know who you are today cannot sustain that life. Even if you want to be a millionaire, you know that who you are today cannot handle millions of dollars. How do you know that? Because who you are today is going to handle money the same way you were yesterday, and the day before that, and the day before that, and the day before that. Just because you get a large amount of money or you get this crazy action or reaction doesn't mean your belief system has changed. You can call, and this is why a lot of people who win the lottery are broke. like worse off than they were before they hit the lottery, because they get this windfall of money, but they have the same lack and limited scarcity consciousness. So it doesn't matter that you got more, you're going to circulate it in the same lack and limitation energy. And it's not about the what you're doing, it's about the energy you're in when you're doing it. It's not about paying the bills, it's about, ugh, I got to pay these fucking bills, or thank you God that I have the money to pay these bills. You're still paying the bills either way. The bills are getting paid. It's the energy you're in. And the energy that you're in is what is going to actually manifest. That's what's going to come back to you. So you're going to circulate the money either way. Are you going to circulate it in gratitude, or are you going to circulate it in displeasure? Because what's the alternative? You don't have the money to pay the bills. Now you're pissed off because you don't have the money. Yet when God gave you the money, you was pissed off because you had to use it. Which one is it? Which one is it? Do you want the money or not? Okay. LOA. Are we talking about law of attraction, Michael, or law of assumption? Law of assumption is my favorite. I like law of attraction too, though. Okay, so now self-awareness, the way that you're going to uproot these seeds, you're going to ask questions. What do I believe about love? What have my parents shown me about love? Ask yourself that. Okay, attraction. We'll talk about that in a minute. Ask yourself that. What have my parents shown me about love? What are the relationships I saw growing up show me or teach me about love? What has the world taught me about love? I'm going to tell you what the world tells little girls. And I don't know about all little girls, but some. Some little girls grow up believing, accepting this idea that if a boy is mean to them, that it means that they like them. I want you to understand what that means. You're telling little girls that if a boy is mean to them, treats them like shit, essentially, if a boy is mean to them, because it's either nice or mean in this equation. If a boy is mean to them, then that means that he likes her. He likes them. So what type of men do you think she's going to attract in her life? What type of people is she going to go after? What type of relationship is she going to be in? Is she going to be in the love is kind, love is genuine? No, she's going to be in the struggle love. Love is pain. Love is a battle. Love is a war field. Because that's what she's programmed to believe love is. So she can want to get married all she wants. And she can want to marry a king that treats her like a queen. Until she becomes the queen that knows what she deserves and stands on that boundary and throws this belief away that love is supposed to hurt for it to mean something. Until she does that, she's going to continue to create the same scenario in different people. They'll get right up to the altar and he'll be like, nah, I couldn't do this. What? That makes sense now. I know exactly where you're going with this. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Your job, right, is to understand that the caterpillar you are today it cannot live on the butterfly frequency. It's not possible. The butterfly's up here flying. The caterpillar don't got no wings. How you going to be up here? You can't. You got to transform into that. So first step is self-awareness. You got to ask yourself, what do I believe about love? What do I believe? What did my parents show me about it? Right? How do I like to be loved? Ask yourself these questions. Then once you uncover this, like, so say for example, you uncover that love is pain, or I believe that love should be a struggle. Then what you want to do is you want to get into forgiveness, because what you've done is you've uprooted the seed, but you want to throw that hoe away. A lot of times people will uproot the seed and just to piss themselves off again. And then the seed drops back into the subconscious and they keep doing the same shit. This is how a lot of people live. A lot of people every so often have a memory of the past that hurts them to their core, pop up into their mind. They get angry all over again, right? They're aware of it, so they can throw that whole away. They can forgive. They can let that shit go. Nope. What do? They get more emotionally involved with it. It gets deeper into the emotional mind or the subconscious, and it continues to produce the reality that they've had. Literally. 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 Just because you are aware doesn't mean that's going to change it. You got to make space. Just because you pulled it up doesn't mean it can't be sucked back down. This goes back to forgiving ourselves as far as the uproot of the cause. Absolutely. So what's happening is you've uprooted the seed. The seed is love is pain and love is a struggle. Now, in order for you to truly make space for the love is kind, love is caring, love is genuine seed, you have to literally let go of this one. And there's a story that you've been telling yourself. There's a story that you've been telling yourself of why you can't be successful, why love is pain, why you have to go through this. And it's not serving you anymore. This is time for you to give that story for a better one. When you forgive, you let go of completely. That's what the word forgive means. To let go of completely, to abandon. Let it go completely. The story that you're telling yourself, the negative emotion tied to that event, let it go. The memory may always be there, but you have a choice of how you remember it. You have a choice of how it makes you feel. I could truly look back at 2020 and I could feel all of the negativity and all of the terrible things that happened to me during that year. I could. But I have so reframed it that 2020 was the best year of my life for all the pain that I had to go through. Literally made me who I am today. Wouldn't change a thing about it. So you are forgiving yourself first, yes. Now, we'll get to a point where we forgive others, and I love that. You forgive others, you can forgive your mama, you can forgive their actions, whatever. But first and foremost, you're going to forgive yourself. Because you've been perpetuating this story of why you're not good enough in your own head. Nobody else is perpetuating it. It's not like you walk up to somebody and they're like, yeah, you're shitty, or your relationships are going to be shitty going forward because nobody else is doing that. It's a story that you're telling yourself based off of your perception of your experience. You can change that story. You get to change it. You're literally the only person that can change it. Actually, I can't even change it. I can give you all the tools you need. If you click the link in my bio, I can give you every tool you need. I can give you every tool, but I can't actually change it for you. You can only do that. You can only get into your cocoon. I can't get into your cocoon for you. I already got in my cocoon. I already did my transition. Took me 18 months. From the time that I recognized that I was getting in that hole, into the cocoon, until I got out. About 18 months. You can do it in 6. You can do it in 3 if you really wanted to. There's no true time limit to it. The faster that you can convince yourself that you are who you believe you are and feel as though it's true, the quicker it'll happen. Now, forgiveness. Once you pull up the story, once you pull up that seed, you're going to forgive, you're going to let it go. I forgive you, M. Simone, for believing that love is pain. I forgive you for staying in a relationship with a man who cheated on you. I forgive you for staying in a relationship with a man who passed STDs onto you. I forgive you for staying in relationships with people who are narcissists, who are manipulative, who lied to you. I forgive you for all of that. Because all of that's going to come up. That seed, all of that comes from the seed of love being pain, love being struggle. So I'm going to forgive that. I'm going to let that go. I'm going to forgive myself for staying in that, for doing what I did with the knowledge that I had. And then I'm going to send myself some love because you deserve it. I don't care what you've done or what you haven't done. You deserve unconditional love from yourself, first and foremost. You deserve unconditional grace from yourself, first and foremost. You deserve unconditional love, gratitude, grace, faith from yourself, first and foremost. So once you forgive yourself, once you say, I forgive you for X, Y, and Z, now you're going to say, I love you for this. I love that you're doing this. I love that we had this experience because this is where it brought us, whatever it is. Now what we've done is we've uprooted the seed and we've thrown it out. So we've made space. Now we're going to get into actually planting some new seeds because we've made space now. This is the part that people skip. This is what we call the shadow work, right? The Great School of Life teaches you how to be whole, how to integrate dark and light, shadow and conscious and subconscious. Not how to not feel or not go through this because this is controlling you. You have to get in there. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Like you have to get into the subconscious if you want to create your dream life. That it's not optional. Like there's literally no other option because this controls everything. This is the seat of everything. This is the garden through which every fruit of your life is manifest. Right? So next step, now that we've uprooted the seed, we've thrown the seed away, we made space. Now we're going to get in spirit. We're going to get inspired. Thoughts on plant medicine to help facilitate this process. Michael, I am an advocate for plant medicine. I am a cannabis advocate. I've always wanted to get in, well, not wanted to get into, but I try shrooms. I haven't tried shrooms yet. But that's something that I also see as a benefit to the future. This is the thing that I say. The way that I look at plant medicine or the way that I look at anything, right, is that anything can be a tool for you with the right consciousness for the right reasons. If you're using plant medicine to suppress, to not feel, to escape, to withdraw, that is the wrong consciousness for the wrong reasons, and you're going to have a not so favorable outcome. However, if you're using cannabis with the right consciousness for the right reasons, maybe it's to connect with God, maybe it's to be more present, maybe it is to be more aware, maybe it's to ground, maybe it's to bring presence, whatever it is, right? If you're using it for the right reasons, for the right consciousness, it'll be a great tool for you. But it's up to you. It's your intention with it. It's not the plan itself. It's the intention that you're using it in to loosen the subconscious beliefs. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that I think that I truly believe that it unveils things, right? Being like plant medicine unveils certain things because you start to see things different, right? Because the veil, the awareness has been expanded. And you're like, no, I don't think that's right. And you start questioning things. You're like, are you sure? Like, let me look it up, right? You start to question things. So yes, it removes the veil, right? It pulls back the layer of like rose-colored glasses. So next you're going to get in spirit. You're going to get inspired. That means you've been doing some work in the mind. You've been going in the mind, digging up some stuff, making some room. Now you want to get into this power. You want to feel that. You want to get inspired. You want to get in spirit. So the way that you do that, right, is you ask yourself, what does God feel like? What does God feel like? What does it feel like to be God? What does it feel like to have God? What does it feel like to be in God's presence? If I was God, which you are, what would it feel like? Freedom, abundance, joy, gratitude, love, faith, confidence, beauty, luxury, abundance, prosperity, freedom, calm, ease, bliss. I don't know, whatever word comes, love the way you think. Thank you. Right? Whatever word comes to mind. When I think about God, I think about expansiveness. I think about infiniteness. I think about prosperity. I think about abundance. I think about love, unconditional love. So when I'm getting in spirit or when I'm getting inspired, right, it's probably through a music that makes me feel that certain type of way. Maybe it's through meditation. Could be through visualization. Could be through sex. It could be through exercise. It could be through nature walks. Like, you can get in spirit in the feeling of God and God presence at any time, any point, doing anything, right? It's just tapping into the feeling that you believe God has. The feeling of having God. The feeling of having God is wholeness, completeness, peace, freedom. That's what it feels like to have God. Because if I have God, I have everything. If I have God, I have everything. And I am God. God and I are soulmates. We are one. So I am and have the divine at all times. I can never not have God. So you're going to get in spirit. Because what you're about to do is now we're going to create our new life. Now we're going to create the butterfly life. But we're creating it from God's perspective. I don't want you to come from the human perspective. Because you're going to say, okay, well, I'm making $10,000 a month now. Well, $20,000, I can do that. No, that's not what you want. That's what you think you can do. That's not what I asked you. God didn't ask you what you think you can do. God said, what do you want? God said, I'm going to give you anything you want. Ask, believe, receive. What do you want? You want to make $1 million a month. What are we talking about? We're talking about an infinite supply. Why would I ask for a little when I could ask for a lot? Why would I ask for a Toyota when I really want a Maserati? Why would I ask for a 2-bedroom apartment when I really want a house? Why would I ask for a job that only gives me 1 week vacation when I really want 2 weeks? Why would I ask for a job when I don't want a job, I want a business? Why would I ask for something I don't want? Because I don't have the faith in God to make what I want happen. That's it. The only reason you don't ask God for more is because you don't have the faith in God to make it happen. If you knew God was going to give you everything you asked for, you'd ask for more. You stop settling for crumbs. You ain't got to lie to me. You can lie to yourself. But you don't believe. Your faith is lacking. I didn't say you didn't have faith. You have it. Absolutely. And we can point out all the ways that you are faithful. However, you're nowhere near tapping into God's infinite supply of faith. Nowhere near. You got so much more to ask for. Do you understand that God is infinite? Please hear me. I don't know if y'all really understand what infinite means. Infinity, y'all. Infinity. You asking for less because you don't believe God can provide more. You have more fear in what you visibly see than trust in the unseen supply. I was watching a video and the quote was, I think this is one of my videos too. It said, I trust in the unseen supply more than I fear visible lack. I trust in the unseen supply more. I trust in the unseen supply more. I trust in the unseen supply more than I fear visible lack. That's where I want you. That's where you're going. That's what the butterfly version of you does. The butterfly version of you trusts in the unseen, invisible, infinite, unfailing supply of God versus the physical sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. That's how the butterfly lives. That's how you live. There's a version of you that lives like that. And you want to be that version. I know you do. You've been thinking about this mansion since you were a kid. You've been thinking about this business since you were a kid. But somebody told you on the way that was unrealistic. Somebody told you that it couldn't happen. Somebody told you that it was going to take you 40 years. Somebody told you something. And because you looked up to them or they were an authority figure or you were a child, you believed it. And because you believed it, you created a reality from it. Now, can I see the other part again? Which part, love? Like the whole board? Let me do it like that. Okay. So we're going to get in spirit. We're going to come from God's perspective. We're going to use our God mind, our God sight, our vision to cast a net of what we want our life to look like. Because there's no limit to God's supply. So money, how much? Oh, yeah, I could do 100,000. That's not enough. Oh, I could probably do like 20. That's not enough. More. Ask for more. Because there's no limit. One, and you want to have more than enough for you, and you want to have more than enough for others. See, that's the thing. You're being selfish by only asking about yourself. You're being selfish by only asking for a little. It's really selfish of you, actually. I want you to think about that next time. When you ask for a little bit, I want you to think of how selfish you're being. Because you're not even asking for enough for other people. You're asking for barely enough for you. That's hella selfish. That is extremely selfish. That is the most selfish thing you could ever do. You don't even have enough for you. And you ain't gonna get none for nobody else? Selfish. Stop thinking about just yourself, okay? And start thinking about the world. And I'm laughing, but I'm dead ass serious. I don't want to be a billionaire. I'm not creating a $1 billion legacy for me. I'm doing it because I want every single one of your souls to be transformed by the renewing of your mind when I leave here. And I want the imprint of what I'm creating to outlast every generation. I want this to be the basis of how people see life forever. That's how selfless I am. Okay? Now, I need you to step into that selflessness. So if you want $50,000 a month, double it, triple it. Add a little bit more. Add some in there for your mama. Add some in there for the lady down the street. Add some in there for that church. Add some in there for some natural disaster. Add some in there for anything. Don't be selfish and just ask for barely enough for you. Ask for more than enough for you. Ask for more than enough so that you can share with other people and you can be a blessing to other people. Okay? So you're going to create your desired reality. What is it that you want? Money? How much? Relationship? What type? There's no limit. Business, what kind? How often do you work? Travel, what type? You want to be, am I flying first class? Am I flying private? What type of shoes? What type of clothes? What do you want? I love it. I feel like you don't hear that in LOA talk, to care for others, also not only for you. Absolutely. It's not optional. Like it's hella, and this is probably the first time I've actually said it like this, but the more I say it out loud, like the more it resonates. It's so selfish of you. It is so selfish of you to only accept enough for you and to only ask for enough for you. That is extremely selfish. You just don't care about nobody else. You're supposed to get and give to others. This is one of the things that I pride myself on with the Great School of Life. Every single student that enrolls in the Great School of Life has the ability to call in commission from being a student and telling other people about their experiences. Because I know the quickest way to get where I want to go is to help people get to where they want to go. I can pay you to help me build a school. Why would I want to talk to 10,000 people by myself? I don't want to do that. I could hire 50 agents and have you guys talk to 10,000 people and then pay you to do it. That's a more valuable use of my time, my energy, and my money than me speaking to 10,000 people all by myself. No, I want to circulate it. I want to give it. I want you to have it. I want you to have some too. I don't need billions of dollars. I have billions of dollars because I provide service to millions and billions of people. I don't need all of it. No, of course not. But but God gave it to me so that the things that matter most, helping people create lives that they love in freedom and in joy and in abundance, that's what that money needs to be circulated on. And there needs to be somebody who's bold enough to say that this is worth spending money on. Here I am. Okay, so you're going to create your desired reality. Step 4, specifically, what do you want? But then you have to ask yourself, okay, if this is the life that I want, the reality I want, who do I need to be? What type of belief do I need to have? Because if the reality that you want is millions of dollars a month, what belief system do you need to have? What type of that conditioning do you need to put on the I am? Because what you're doing is you're reconditioning your I am. You're transforming the awareness, the consciousness, the mind. You're renewing it. You're giving it new conditioning. What is that conditioning? What is the conditioning that's going to cause you to create a reality of millions of dollars a month? That's very selfless thinking in every sense. This knowledge needs to be shared. Thank you, love. I appreciate you. But that's what this is all about. I didn't create the Great School of Life for me. I created it because nobody is going to put the amount of love, purpose, passion, and just desire to help everybody in it like I'm going to do it. And honestly, there's nobody as bold and audacious as me and has the same dreams. That's why God gave me the dream. Just like God gave Bree a dream and Moonchild's dream. I don't know what Moonchild's dream is, but it's not for me. It's for Moonchild. I don't know what Bree's dream is. It's not for me. It's for Bree. Her job is to uncover the dream and to go after it, to become the butterfly that would naturally live it. My job is to have this dream and to continue to evolve into a greater butterfly for this dream. That's my job. I have I am that I am tattooed. I need to embody it better. Ooh, love that. See, and now you have, and there's the other thing too. I was talking to a girl earlier and she said she literally just got a butterfly tattoo. She was like, I don't even know why I got it. I said, I know why you got it. God knew why you got it. Because now that I've given you this context, every time you see that butterfly, something's going to be triggered. And at some point, that triggering is going to trigger you into taking some action towards your dream life. And it's going to lead you down that path. Yes. Okay. That butterfly tattoo is a reminder that at any point you can decide to step into that cocoon, to die to your present self as a caterpillar, and rise into the butterfly that you know you are. Anytime you see it. I have evolutions on evolutions on evolutions to go. I'm in no rush. I'm grateful for the butterfly that I am today, or the butterfly that I'm becoming. I'm grateful for the butterfly that I'm growing into. Thank you for showing me that I have the power to transform. Yeah. And triggers aren't bad, right? Triggers are triggers. Triggers are stimuli that evoke emotion. That's not good or bad, right? Eventually, when you're triggered, when you see it, it's going to be like, you know what? I'm triggered enough that I would rather go into the unknown, step out on faith and fail and then get back up than to stay where I'm at, knowing I'm safe and never even try. At some point, you're going to be triggered enough to actually take action on that. And that's my job. Okay, so create the desired reality. Let's say, we were talking about marriage, right? We were talking about love, right? So let's say it's to get married to the love of your life in beliefs or something like that, right? Now, who do you need to be? What type of beliefs do you need to have? I deserve a 7-figure wedding, right? I love me no matter what. I love me unconditionally. The only way you're going to get somebody who loves themselves wholly and loves you wholly is if you love you wholly. You can't love you half-assed and then expect somebody else to love you wholly. That's where a lot of y'all are having trouble as well, especially a lot of people who are financially successful, like business owners that have gotten all the money to finance that part together. The love is lacking. The love part starts to lack. Right? And it's not, and I can't, y'all, I swear I be losing my train of thought. The love is lacking. Oh, right. Because they're searching for their better half. That's what y'all say. You say it out of your mouth. Oh, I'm looking for my better half. What? That implies that you're not whole right now. That implies that there's something missing. That implies that you need somebody else to complete you. And when they do complete you, and then y'all fall out because the attachment is toxic because you need each other, then you break up, you feel like your other half is gone, you feel like your life is over. Instead of starting from a place of knowing that you're whole right now. So the love of my life, the loves that are coming next, these relationships, are two whole people coming together. Every relationship previous was I don't know how much percentage I had, but I gave way more than I already had. I was already empty and gave more than empty. Now I'm coming from a place of wholeness. I'm detached. Whether you love me or not, whether we are together forever or not, I am still whole. Is it going to hurt? Absolutely. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. Suffering is optional. Pain is inevitable. It's going to happen. It's a part of it. But suffering through your pain, that's your choice. You get to choose to suffer. You don't suffer because you have to. The pain will happen. The suffering's optional. Okay? So if your desired reality is to get married, what beliefs do you need to have? I love myself unconditionally. I love myself no matter what. I deserve a king, right? Seven figure weddings are my norm, or my 7-figure wedding, or I deserve a 7-figure wedding. Whatever it is, whatever you decide. You're going to create the desired reality. You're going to create the beliefs that will get you to that reality. And then you actually got to match the frequency of that belief, because that belief, that thought, that I am that statement, right? It has an energetic frequency. It has a feeling. So when you say I'm the luckiest girl in the world, that feels like something. When you say I don't have any fucking money, that also feels like something. And both of those frequencies, or both of those energies, have different frequencies. Well, what we're doing is we're getting on the butterfly frequency, which is up here: abundance, prosperity, what's the other one? Enlightenment, gratitude, joy, faith, right? Though love. These are higher frequencies. This is probably how your life feels when you're living your dreams. When you're bringing in $1 million a month, your life probably feels free. You probably feel very happy, abundant, prosperous, right? When you're married to the love of your life, you probably feel unconditional love, gratitude, faith, right? Your job is to actually make that frequency or that feeling your baseline. So love and gratitude are typically the two emotions that I get my students to embody immediately. Get your frequency, your baseline on gratitude and love. Everything else will come. Because what you're doing now, right, when it comes to the law of attraction or the law of assumption, right, you've assumed a feeling of abundance. And because you've assumed it, whatever you assume to be true will be your truth. You will call in abundance because you've assumed that's the seed that you planted. Right? To assume means to take hold of, to take ownership. So when you drop the seed of I am abundant or I am love, right? What you've done is a subconscious mind is assuming it. It's taking hold of it. And it's going to call in things that mirror it. Same thing with the law of attraction. The law of attraction is not about what you want. It's about what you can energetically believe is yours. If you can feel luxury right now, you will attract luxury. Why? Because you attract what you are. You don't attract what you want. You attract the energy that you vibrate at. If you vibrate at the energy of lack and limitation, you're going to attract lack and limitation. Just because you say you're a money magnet, but you actually feel lack and limitation, you're going to get what you feel, not what you say. You're going to get the energy, the energetic frequency. Everything is energy. All energy has a frequency. A frequency is a rate of vibration. It's the speed, the rate, how it feels, how it moves. So your job is to understand that your desired reality has a feeling and to match the energy of that. To match the emotion, the energy and emotion. Now, once you've done this part, you've done about 99% of the work. 99% of the work has been done. Now we're going to take some actions. So you see how we did all of this work before we started acting different? Most people try to change their actions before they change their beliefs, change who they are. So you go on a dating site that's only for Christian men or whatever, because that'll help. Somehow they'll be like, oh, you're not the same person that you've always been. Like the universe will be confused. No, It doesn't matter where you go, you're changing your action, but you haven't changed the consciousness. So you're going to continue to attract the same reality. So that we've changed the consciousness, we've renewed the mind. Now we're going to take action in alignment with where we want to go. If you want to get married, right, then aligned action would be going to places where singles are that have high net worths, especially if you want to have a high net worth individual, right? Or you go on the singles trip that they take every year that you keep avoiding. You go on the trip. Right? Inspired. You're going to do things in the feeling of having God. If God is going out on a date, you think God is going out there desperate? No. God's not like, oh, I need to get this date. No. God's like, I'm the shit. Y'all know it. Holler at me or not. Like, it is what it is. Those are the only two options. That's how God works. God does not try to prove, right? God is not externally validated. Neither are you. Your validation comes internally. Thank you for liking the live, love. I appreciate you. God is your validation. That's internal. External, who cares? I don't care if people validate me externally. And people don't like that. They'll get on the internet and they'll say all kind of stuff based off what I say. I don't care. Because I'm not validated from you liking my post. I'm validated, therefore I post. I'm not validated from what you do on my post. God validated me, so I post. God gave me the validation, so I create. Whether you like it or not, that's a bonus. Great. We love it. Awesome. Regardless, I'm still whole. I'm still one with the divine. I'm still that girl. Right? So when you're starting to take those aligned and inspired actions, when you're starting to put out that energy, you're moving towards it, you're going to get reactions. God is going to start arranging things, circumstances, conditions, people, conversations. Last minute drop or cancellations, flight delays, whatever it is, to get your reality to rearrange itself to match this belief, to match what you just said, what you think, feel, and act like you are. God's going to start rearranging. Now, this is the part of the process where the caterpillar is in the cocoon and it has become a butterfly. It's actually in the cocoon as a butterfly, but it hasn't come out yet. It's starting to come out. This is the last step. This is where now we're going to be in joyful expectation, preparation, and reception. What does this mean? Thank you for liking the live, love. I appreciate you. Right? What is it? Why does it got your thing blocked? Higher self, mentor. We love that. Hold on. Let me pin this comment. Okay. Right? So last thing, be in joyful expectation, preparation, and reception. What does this mean? God has 3 steps to getting whatever it is that you want. There's only 3 steps, okay? Ask, believe, receive. Do y'all hear that? Ask, believe, receive. That's it. It's literally 3 steps. It's not difficult. It's not something that's overwhelming. 3 steps. Ask, believe, receive. This is what we've done. So we asked some questions, right? We removed those old seeds that are no longer serving us. We gave God praise and thanks. This is our asking right here. We're still asking here too. And now we're going to get into actually asking, right? So these are parts of the asking process, but this is the actual asking. When you say what it is you want and who you need to be to get it, that's the actual ask. Then we got to believe it. The belief comes from the energetic frequency, the conviction, how much your subconscious mind can accept what you just said as your truth today. That's the belief. That's the belief. Now, you're going to act based off of what you think you're going to get. If you have faith that you're going to create the life of your dreams, you're going to act like it. That's also a part of your belief. Your actions show how much you believe. Your actions show your level of belief. If you say that you're a millionaire and you believe that, but you don't act like it, you don't go out and make any sales, you don't go out and try to promote a product or find a product to sell or solve a solution, then you don't truly believe that. You don't truly believe it. Yeah, you might feel it occasionally, but it's not your dominant, what did I say? Baseline frequency. It has to be baseline. I mean, you got to live there naturally. And yeah, you're going to get thrown off, of course. I don't stay in gratitude all day long. Sometimes I get thrown off, but I get back on course very much so immediately. It took me some years to figure this out. But these 2 steps are the belief step. And now we're going to be in the receive step. You're going to expect every single day. I expect that students are enrolling into the great school of life. Every day I expect that when I get on a sales call, that I close them. Every single day I expect that. Another piece of this though is detachment. There's a difference between attached expectation and detached expectation. When you're attached to what you expect, there's resistance. So let's say today I spoke with 5 people and no one bought, and I was mad. That made me mad, or it threw off my whole day. That's attachment to the expectation. Versus me, when people don't show up to my calls, it reminds me that they're not ready yet. And that's cool. Why do I need to spend the time to speak to you if you're not ready? That's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I'm going to be here, baby. Come back. Right? So I expect that people are going to move forward and they're going to want to work with me, and they do work with me and they pay me. I expect this. But if it doesn't happen how I think it should, it doesn't deteriorate anything. It doesn't make me expect less or like, oh, well, it's not here. No, I already know it's done. So I expect it. Then I prepare for it. You asking God for a new house and you ain't prepared to get it. You have not gone through any of that old shit that you've had for years. You're going to take all that old shit to the new house? You have not looked for a new home. You haven't packed up your current house. You don't know when you want to move. You don't know. You're not prepared. You know that saying that they used to tell us, expect the best and prepare for the worst? Don't ever say that again. That comes from a place of survival. We expect the best, but a lion may come out and bite the shit out of us. So we're going to expect the worst. We don't live in that. We're not living in survival. You don't expect the best and then prepare for what you don't want. Because if you prepare for what you don't want, that's what you're going to get. No, you're going to expect the best and you're going to prepare for the best. So every single day, I prepare for 50 students to enroll in my courses every single day. What does that mean? Hiring assistants, high-ticket sales agents. What does that mean? Setting up systems, automations, creating programs, teaching, doing the things that I would do if I knew 100% certainty that 50 students were dropping into my school tomorrow. I'm preparing for it. I'm doing the work to show that I'm ready. Because when they come, because they are coming, they are here. When they drop, I want to be prepared to receive, because that's the next step. That's the last piece of it. Now I'm going to receive it. Everything that comes with the desired reality, I'm going to be open to receive it. Joyfully, too. I'm in gratitude. Every single time I have somebody comment, get on a call, enroll in a course, ask me about, it don't matter what it is. I take all of it as being open to receive, and I'm grateful for it all. Okay? Thank you for liking the live, love. I appreciate you. So that's how the life recipe works. This is the process that I take my students through. Because it doesn't matter what strategy you use, baby. It doesn't matter what marketing you use. It doesn't matter how much you pay these people to market your business. If you are not the woman, the man, the person that would naturally sustain what it is you're asking for, you're not going to get it. Caterpillars cannot fly at the frequency of a butterfly. It's not possible. That caterpillar has to die to its present self. It has to be recreated in the image of a butterfly. And then it has to learn how to be the butterfly in order to naturally live that life. That's the same thing you have to do. And that's what we help you do. That's what the life recipe helps you do. That's what the Thinking from the End program does. Okay? So you guys have been with me for however long. How long have we been on this thing? About an hour and a half. This was a little bit longer than normal, which is totally fine. You know, it makes me no difference. I love being up here. I love teaching. And I haven't been up here for like 3 weeks, which is mad crazy. Okay? So we have spent about an hour and 15 minutes together. And we went through the life recipe, talked about caterpillars, butterflies, your life, all that good stuff. All of this sounds great. It sounds really good. But it's not going to do shit for you unless you decide that it's for you. I can come up here and talk to y'all every single day, twice a week for the rest of my life. It's not going to change your life unless you decide to change your life. You have to decide that where you are hurts more than the fear of possible failure. What is failure? What happens when you fail? Have you ever seen a baby fail before? Have you ever seen babies learn how to walk? I'm a mama now, so I'm watching my son learn how to do everything. It's very amazing. It's a beautiful depiction of manifestation. These little blobs of joy have no idea how to walk. Not one clue. They assume because everybody else around them walks. They have an assumption that I have to be able to do that too. I have no clue how I'm going to do that. I've never walked before. Never done this. But other people are doing it. So it has to be a sign that I can do it too. And then what do babies do? Do they get up and start running? They succeed the first time they step out? No, they fall. But what do babies do that we don't do? They get up and act like it didn't even happen and keep going. What do? We obsess over the fall. Oh my God, why did I fall? This is how it happened. Well, if I do this, oh. Babies will have a meltdown. My son will have an emotional breakdown and forget the shit happened 3 minutes later. And I'm still tense about the shit. And you're as if it never happened. You were just like that. But then the world programmed you to believe that in order for you to be the butterfly, you got to go chase the butterfly life instead of recognizing that the path to a butterfly is the transformation into the butterfly. You don't go chase the butterfly. The caterpillar doesn't try to climb its way to a butterfly life. No, the caterpillar says, who I am today is not going to get me there. I have to die to my present self. I have to let go of the life that I know and is familiar. And I have to step into the unknown because God has called me to fly on these hoes. That's where you are. I said all that to say, if you're ready for your transformation from caterpillar to butterfly, whoever you believe you are today, that is clearly not going to get you to whatever your dream life is. If you click the link in my bio, you can submit an application to join Thinking from the End. You can also call in 20% commission while you're with us if you want to be a high ticket sales agent or just refer people to the school. But click the link in my bio, book a call. I know we're booked this month, but December, we may have some spots open. But book the call because you already know this is for you. You know it. You know everything that I said is exactly what you need because you're still here. If it wasn't for you, you'd have been left. You'd have been like, nah, I don't resonate. You resonate. You're open to it. You're ready for it. You're aware. And remember, I don't think I finished saying this, but I want you guys to understand. When you create a demand, there will be a supply to feed it. So when you get on a call with me and I give you all of the goods and I give you all the bad and you say, this is what I want, and then we get to the point of moving you forward, please remember that God knows what you need. And God's just waiting on you to create the demand so that he can supply it. Okay? So it doesn't matter if you have the money in your bank account. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you can see. You have God's unfailing supply. Did we not just talk about that? Did we not just talk about trust in the unseen supply more than trust in visible lack or fear in visible lack? I think we did. So yeah, I love you all. I can't wait to see you guys on the inside. If you have questions, please reach out to me. Click the link in my bio though. Submit an application to join Thinking from the End. Book a call with a success advisor. We would love to speak with you just to make sure that our school is the best for what you want and where you want to go. But I'm already convinced. I already know. I don't even know what your problem is, and I already know I can help you. But I do want to talk to you, and I want someone to talk to you just to make sure. But if you have questions, let me know. I will be back on, what's today? Thursday. So Thursday evening around 6:45. I won't be on Influence by MSB, though. It'll be MSB Influence. So, but I will be here at the Great School of Life. I'll be back at 6:45. Such an amazing session. You're welcome, my love. Let me know how I can support you guys. I'm going to hop off here. I think I've done all of the things that I told God I was going to do today for my business because I'm preparing for the inflow. God told me 10,000 students in the next 12 months. Who wants to enroll 10,000 students by themselves? I don't. I'd rather pay you to do it. So if you want to be that student that has that transformation and then calls in significant income, click the link. Submit an application, book a call. We'd love to talk to you. All right, my babies, I'm going to hop off of here and I will see you in the next one. Yeah. I need a nap, literally.